Airbnb doesn't own a hotel, yet it's one of the biggest accommodation providers in the world. How? Well, let's take a look using the business model canvas. Back in 2007, if you wanted somewhere to stay, your choices were simple: hotels, hostels, or a bed and breakfast. The industry was dominated by big hotel chains. Growth from gaining customers was limited, so hoteliers were raising prices to keep revenues strong. In many markets, the options were limited. One of those markets was San Francisco, where an upcoming design conference meant that hotel rooms were hard to find. Two flatmates who were struggling to make rent saw an opportunity. They decided to make their apartment loft available to conference attendees. They inflated a few airbeds, built a simple website, and offered a place to stay for $80 a night, with breakfast included. 3 people stayed that first weekend, and a business idea was born. At this point, Airbnb wasn't a tech company. It was just a scrappy one-apartment bed and breakfast. But hidden inside this simple idea was something much bigger: a way to turn unused space anywhere in the world into accommodation supply. There were millions of spare rooms sitting empty, but no easy way to connect them with travelers. Airbed&B spotted that gap and in 2008 stepped in to fill it. Initial difficulties resulted in the team focusing on the breakfast element of their business model, selling election-themed breakfasts to generate revenues. An early business model canvas may have looked something like this. The value proposition was simple: a relatively cheap place to stay when hotels were sold out. The customer segments was narrow and event-driven. They were targeting conference attendees and budget travelers unable to find hotel rooms. This was not mass-market travel. They were aiming for people locked out of local hotels and open to unconventional stays. The channels used to reach those customers was a simple website, basic email and social media campaigns, and word of mouth. The founders physically hosted their guests and interacted with them directly. The customer relationship was very much one of personal assistance. The value-side components generated revenue streams based on a flat usage fee of $80 per guest per night. This was supplemented by serial sales used to fund the business. On the cost side of the canvas, they didn't really have any key partnerships other than an ex-flatmate who provided the website. Key resources consisted of their apartment, the physical space, some airbeds, the website, and their own time and effort. Key activities were managing bookings, hosting guests, and making them breakfast. There was also packaging and selling their cereal line and maintaining the website. The cost structure consisted of food and rent, website fees, and quite a lot of unpaid work. In 2009, Airbnb attracted investor funding. This enabled them to secure professional photography for listings. They offered referral programs and experimented with social media marketing. Rooms became entire homes or apartments. They expanded their market reach outside of the US. They had to deal with legal issues, regulatory hurdles, and safety concerns from both hosts and guests, but by 2011, Airbnb had reached 1 million bookings worldwide and was valued at $1 billion. By 2024, they'd captured 44% of global revenues in the short-term rental market. Today, Airbnb could be described as resource dodgers. This is the term that strategists use to describe business models that eliminate the most expensive and capital-intensive resources to create a game-changing cost structure. So, what does the business model look like today? Airbnb is an online marketplace that connects people who have space with people who need it. The value proposition has evolved. It is now a double-sided platform, serving both guests and hosts. Airbnb offers a way for owners of unused property space to make money, connecting them with a global audience of travelers who want an authentic experience in an interesting place to stay, by giving them tools to manage availability, pricing, and booking. The customer segment has expanded from a niche group to a global two-sided marketplace. Guests include leisure travelers, business travelers, remote workers, and digital nomads. Hosts now include individual homeowners, professional property managers, and real estate investors with multiple listings. What started as a narrow segment is now mass market travel on both sides of the platform. The channels have scaled significantly. Airbnb's platform, its website and mobile app, has become the primary channel, supported by digital marketing, referrals, influencer partnerships, and personalized messaging. At the same time, Airbnb recognized the importance of building a community. Customer relationships have shifted from highly personal to platform-enabled trust at scale. Reviews and ratings, identity verification, secure messaging and payments all help build that trust, with community feedback playing a central role. These value-side components have transformed the revenue model from selling airbeds to taking a cut of a global marketplace. They take a percentage from all transactions, charging commissions to hosts and service fees to guests. Airbnb also offer additional services such as currency exchange, travel insurance, and experiences. In 2024 alone, Airbnb facilitated over 491 million nights and experiences, generating almost $82 billion of gross booking value and over $11 billion in revenues. If we look at the cost side components, Airbnb's key resources are no longer physical. They're digital and network driven. The biggest asset Airbnb owns is not just the ecosystem, but its Lovemark brand, which has not only helped to shift social norms and habits. Not many people would sleep in a stranger's home in 2008, but creates such a strong connection that travelers think of Airbnb properties as though they were a traditional hotel chain. The most important key partnership is with the global network of hosts and property owners, who provide the supply that underpins the platform. Collaboration has become central to Airbnb's growth and innovation, enabling it to operate at global scale in a regulated industry. Airbnb partners with technology platforms, property managers, real estate developers, tourism boards and local authorities, and global brands and event organizations to scale supply, ensure compliance, and drive demand. Unlike hotels, Airbnb doesn't own rooms. It doesn't build properties. It doesn't manage property in the traditional sense. Its key activities are focused on managing the marketplace, developing and maintaining the platform that connects guests to hosts, processing transactions, and generating growth. This is reflected in the cost structure, which consists of the platform development and maintenance costs, marketing and user acquisition, legal and compliance costs, and of course, payments to property owners. What they don't have is the cost of owning and maintaining a physical inventory of properties. The original Air Bed and Breakfast rented out a single apartment. The modern Airbnb enables millions of people to rent out theirs. It has evolved from a service into a platform, from hosting guests to orchestrating an entire global marketplace. Airbnb continues to evolve its business model. In 2025, it began simplifying its pricing, phasing out split fees in favor of a host-only model aligned with the wider online booking industry. If we compare the two canvases, we can clearly see how every single building block has evolved. It wasn't just the scale that changed, it was the business model itself. Airbnb disrupts the profit formula as a cost differentiator. It starts with a powerful question. Could we dramatically change our cost structure by rethinking the resources and activities needed to create value? Airbnb's journey shows that innovation isn't just about a new idea. What started as 3 airbeds in a San Francisco apartment evolved into a global platform by fundamentally rethinking the cost structure of the industry. As a global third-party marketplace, Airbnb removed the need to own property altogether, leveraging existing unused space and making it easy for people to rent it out for short periods. By managing host relationships and connecting them with guests, Airbnb takes a cut of each transaction while handling payments without employing service or cleaning staff. In doing so, it didn't just compete with hotels, it redefined what accommodation could be, turning a simple idea into a global marketplace and redefining how the world travels. This case study is inspired by The Invincible Company. Written by the team at Strategizer, it is one of the best books out there for understanding how to design, test, and scale business models. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this one, hit like and let us know in the comments what sort of examples you'd find most useful. Then subscribe and get alerted for future video posts.